I'm Jerome Kilsmall. I'm from Porcupine District. It's over the hill over here. 18 miles, maybe 18, 7, maybe 25 miles from here. Straight across. If anybody walked over the hills from here to Porcupine, you have to go through Wounded Knee and Manderson, part of Manderson. When I was a young man, such as you, and there were girls there in the next valley. In Porcupine, I was related to practically everybody. So I had to go over a mountain to get to Manderson, where we had record hops. And soon we had a real band. They were called Sioux Playboys. I remember I had to go over there for a record hop. That's what they call it. And I don't know, I didn't smoke, but I wanted to look cool. So I always had a Durham with a little round thing sticking, hanging out. Making it look like I was really grown up. And I don't think they had those paper matches yet, but we had kitchen matches. And so I had some of them in my pocket. And my change was on that side too. I remember a girl asking me to dance. Her name was Charlotte Black Elk, if you remember her name. And she loves to dance. I mean, she loves to be in public, let's put it that way. And so she asked me to dance. And the Sioux Playboys was playing this really fast song. So that time we used to dance like this. I don't know, I was pounding down or whatever. And I spun around this way and that way. Those coins must have been moved around because it started the kitchen matches on fire. So I'm really dancing then. I didn't put my hand in because of, and it can't flame because there's no oxygen. So it's just going in my pocket. Let's go like this. And it burnt a hole in my pocket. So holding it out like that. And my change was falling. I made it out of the door. I went outside and finally put it out somehow. I kind of cooled down out there. It didn't burn a hole this way, it burned a hole that way. I came back in. Did you ever smell sulfur? Mm-hmm. That means a match that doesn't light up but fizzles out. It smells like rotten eggs. And so when I went back in that dance hall, it smelled like rotten eggs in there. People were blaming each other. Saying, that was you. I don't know what they're blaming each other for. It really smelled bad. So that's when I was looking, I remember when I was your age, and I did quite a lot of things that were pretty funny at the time. Probably still is. But, the reason I'm saying this is I know these mountains thoroughly. I walked them. And I really love nature. I don't know why I like to be out in the hills and walking around and seeing the different kinds of trees and plants. And it was good to be alone. And I was always alone. I was an orphan. No mom and no dad. So I had to raise me. So that's what I was doing, raising me. Finding out the environment out there. I went to Red Cloud Indian School. So I know people environment. You know, I could see and read the classrooms. I could read the playgrounds. I could read the little. It was a huge hall playroom. We had roller skates, and we had things to do, and so I could understand human interaction. You know, I could spot somebody who was angry. And some people who were angry would express it by picking on somebody. So I could tell which ones were that way on that day, didn't have a good day. I kind of stay away from them because I knew something was going to erupt right there. And so I just controlled me and it took care of me. Probably because when I was 4 years old, I was at Kyle boarding school. And there, I was a little boy, I was 4 years old, and these big boys in the dorm, sometimes they get in fights. I mean, real fights. So I would take out and hide under my bed because I had a bottom bunk. He was hiding under there. And I was thinking, I wonder when it's going to be my turn. So I knew how to duck out of problems, and I was raising them. I knew how to be safe. And of all of that, I had to have also concentration and focusing on what I'm learning because I didn't speak English. That was the problem. I mean, it was very difficult. I would say things wrong in English. And so you don't say it that way. And I'd say, how do you say it? Even into high school, I was still not too familiar with the formalities or cliches. I didn't know too many cliches, like hit the dirt. You know, to me, it probably means reaching down, boom. It means hit the dirt high. Or other things that, you know, we say every day that really doesn't mean what we're saying. Cliches, there's a lot of American cliches, and a lot of them I still don't know. But I and my wife, we watch Turner Classic Movies. And so there's a lot of cliches in those little movies and of describing things and people, situations. Anybody know any cliches?
Heads up.
Huh?
Heads up.
Heads up. What else? All of a sudden, we forgot all of them, right?
Break away.
Yeah, break away for movie actors. Yeah. And when somebody does break a leg, you no longer say that, right? Yeah. So don't say that to good. He did break a leg. Anyway, so gradually I learned to speak English. And when my grandma and grandpa died, who were raising me, I think grandmas and grandpas really take to little orphans. So I had a little grandma and grandpa in Kyle, South Dakota, raising me. They were in their 90s. They were old. And this is 1949 I'm talking about. Because I say that because that's when I started being me. I could remember me as a small boy. That's when I remembered the best that I was on this earth. Because it was after the 49 blizzard. I remember the 49 blizzard because I never heard anything like that before. There was a hum in the sky and I was a little boy looking up. It was going, the sky, there's a ceiling here. And there were whistles around the home. That's the wind blowing around the, we had a log home, the logs are like this, so it's blowing out. So there's different octaves of sound. and there were things clanging on the earth and hitting the wall. So they'd be clang, 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 ding, clang, 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 roll away. And my grandma was nailing a quilt over the window, probably to keep the cold out or the warmth in. She was nailing a quilt over the window. It was to the east. And so probably to keep us warm. And my grandpa was trying to cool the stovepipe down that was getting red and going towards the ceiling. The updraft from the wind was pulling the fire up and out, and it was heating it. Even with the damper on, it went past it and still heating up. And so even at a base, it was going trying to cool it down, because if it reaches the ceiling, we're history. You know, be a little charcoal barbecue. So that didn't happen. And my grandma saying that clanging, she said that was the tub that was hanging on the harness shed. Or that was the bucket that was at the wood pile. She was naming things and thinking back. She was probably saying that so I'd probably be less afraid. She was naming things for me, is what I was thinking. That I wouldn't be afraid of what was hitting the wall. And all the sounds, these strange sounds all over. And our dog was in the house. Our dog is about this big. Arms as big as I have now. Huge. It's probably a pack dog from the old days. You know, probably that breed that they kept, that carried the packs. You know. And his name was Jelly. Because my grandma and grandma, they spoke Lakota. There's no retroflex, no R's in our language. So Jerry became Jelly. We don't have any R's. So in Lakota, we don't roll our tongue back and say a word. Like the Hispanic people, they're really good at rolling their R's, like, or silent L's and things that we don't speak that way. So I was there after the dog was there. He was there first, I came last. I just now was, well, now you would say adopted, but I was just brought there to stay there. My mom had me when she was 13, so she gave me away. And so I was a little boy that didn't know his mom. And that's why I know about, like, little boys, they get to have intimacies. And I didn't know that you're supposed to do that, because I didn't have none. Little boys and little girls, they make believe cry and go towards mommy. They whine around. And because I never got to do that, I'd look at him and think, what's wrong with that guy? If I spoke like I do now, I probably would have said, cowboy up. I was a little guy like that. And I was really a rebel. Because nobody spanked me or anything. So I got in a lot of fights, a lot of trouble. Because I didn't know how to interact. I wasn't raised that way. It interacted with me. What I thought was right. That's the way to do it. And most of the time I was right. I invented my own toys because nobody bought them for me. And I worked with my grandfather. And we did a thing called chayuchucha. And that's going down by the creek. We get a wood about this long. He does. He puts a rope on it. And then he throws it up, wraps it around a dry limb, and then breaks it. That's chucha. You is to pull. You chucha. Pull to make that sound. And cha is wood. Cha you chucha. making the wood make that sound. I thought it was a game, so I had a little stick too. I was getting good. I'd wrap her on a little limb. But they would pile them and then put them on the wagon. We'd take them back. That was our fire starter for our stove. Now here's where I lost my my own value system. I had a little bucket. I had a chores. I had to do things in the evening. So they gave me this bucket. Go pick the chips from the wood that was chopped from the bigger wood. Little chips would fly off. I had to go pick them. There's a whole pile of them because we chop wood all the time. So it's a kakoja. And a chunkpama at Tampahir. Pick the wood chips. Kapala means little pieces. Okay. So I would go there. And here's my value system. That was not good. Lost it. That's right. You know. I didn't know why one was washed and one was shita. I mean, they all burn, right? I mean, you start the fire with, oh, well, why was one? I mean, that's where, you know, I think that I had a spiritual value system. The reason why I said that is when I think back to that time now as an adult, so I wonder why I was lost. But when I do my self-examination, when I'm cleaning me out, flushing bad things during the day, I flush them out in the evening. If I said something bad to somebody, sometimes I would call it, hey, you know, I said, yeah, I'm sorry I said that. Most times they say, why, what'd you say? So I'm carrying it, but at least I flushed it. So it's not in me anymore. Whether they know it or not, doesn't matter to me. I was the one carrying it. And a lot of people carry things around that they don't know. It gets in your way, especially when you're studying. It comes back. How could you tell? When you're reading a book, you get halfway and you're thinking about something else that you didn't take care of, or that you wanted to take care of. Read halfway and you're reading, but you're thinking of something else. Your stream of consciousness is someplace else. Boy, I did that a lot when I was at Red Cloud Indian School. And I noticed it. So I started to try to concentrate as hard as I could to get at least one page read without thinking about Judy or somebody. Oh, here we go again. So I learned how to get it all the way through, little by little. But crunch time, I read fast. When I put things to the last minute, one more week of school and I got to do 4 papers. Oh man, did I read fast, because I wanted to get an A. So I always tell my students when I was teaching, the topic that they have to have for the semester, you start filling it throughout the semester. Fill it, get your citations, all of that, throughout, and I check on them. How many citations you get now? Well, what citations? Your topic, your paper. Oh, that. So we have to remind ourselves, including me. I have to remind me that I got a task to do here. And I think taking care of tasks is the human assignment here. I think, from me, you could take it or leave it. I think to be a human being, a good one, is to learn how to be calm, at ease. I run a sweat lodge, and the last sweat lodge is at Thunder Valley. This one man in the lodge, he says, I finally am learning how to be calm. And I knew what he meant. it meant he was taking care of all the things he needed to. Mine would be in the morning, cleaning the kitty litter, giving the birds their bird food, see if the cats have food and water. You wouldn't believe it, cats could drink a big bowl of water overnight. Well, in my home they probably could because I got 7 indoor cats. And sometimes I allow them to sleep with us. But once somebody starts licking my forehead that feels like sandpaper, then everybody goes out. Open the door and say, all right, everybody out. They're obedient. They all go out. They're obedient. Otherwise, I'll get my spray bottle. They don't like that. They all run out. And they know that when I say, everybody out, they don't get spray bottles. So, by teaching them, I'm learning discipline. They're teaching me about how to discipline them, and they're disciplining me. So it works both ways. It helps me. All of these, I have 18 pets. I've got parrots, parakeets, cockatiels, cats, fish, dogs, horses. By the time my day's over, I did my sober time. All the way through. When you get through that day, in the evening, I actually sometimes sing a thank you song. Or say thank you to whoever it is that made all these things for me, hands, eyes. I can't say, sometimes I can't say religion or my beliefs, because somebody said, well, I'm an atheist. Like, am I supposed to change your mind? Why'd you say that? Do I have the task to make you know that you were created by a higher power? You're an atheist? Why are you sitting here with all those gifts? Good see and everything. I don't argue with somebody that says things that they probably will never change. Waste of time, right? Just do the things that makes you successful and see if he says, one day, how are you doing it? How are you doing it? How are you getting successful? How are you doing the things that you're doing? Well, just hang around with me for a while and you'll find out. So they'll see your daily rituals. Your rituals are what fills your day. I could tell who's going to be a lawyer. I could tell who's going to be a writer. I could tell who's going to be a doctor. I could tell who's going to be a engineer, caregiver. Caregivers, there's a whole list of that, right? Fireman, police officers, peace officers, if you don't want to say police. And so we have all these skills. When I speak to little children, and you might want to remember this too, when I speak to little kids, a lot of the friends that I travel with, they always ask little kids, what are you going to be when you grow up? And some of them are instant answers right away. A vet. Or, one little girl said, I'm going to be married. They have their own little plans. I said, oh, that's a big skill you have to have. You have to prepare things and get ready, organize things, take care of the home, sweep, mop. Think about it. It's a big task. And so I said, okay, next time somebody asks you, to tell them after all of this, what would you like to be when you grow up? What are you going to be when you grow up? Answer first. I want to be kind. I want to be generous. I want to be strong. Strong would be fortitude, personal strength. I want to be patient. Get things done gradually. Take your time. Make sure you practice right. That's what makes you top-notch performer on the basketball court or wherever. Create your own styles, right? That's fun to do. When people know your style, that's when it gets wonderful. You have an identity. You have attributes. And when you have attributes, it's easy to name you. Eagle flies high. Eagle touches the sky. Bird. Running bear. Running eagle. Last summer at Mouse Camp, I named a young runner who's a winner. He's got a scholarship in North Dakota for running. Why didn't I run? Huh? Just for running, got a scholarship, and now he teaches running. Teaches physical therapy and a lot of other things just by running. There's a lot of things that he does now. His studies are all about keeping good body health. And so I named him Running Eagle. And he pops up now and then from like nowhere. I was in Omaha running a sweat lodge for a community over there. And there he was. I said, remember me? Running Eagle, right? Then I was talking, they must have overheard that I was going to be running a lodge in Melk's Camp, which is about 200 miles from there. He was there again. And then I was at a memorial and he was there again. And I think he's shadowing me. He wants to know why I do the things I do. I think he's starting to find a spiritual connection. We got physical, we got skills, physical connections, but you have to harness that. You have to harness that with your attributes and your ways of thinking, ways of moving. So that's the ways you are, right? Your soul, your body, whatever makes you go during the day. If you're going to lead a spiritual life along with your education, the next thing you do is your rituals. Your ways, then your rituals. How am I handling this? You know, what do I do to arrive at getting good at what I do? What am I aiming for? What's my long-term goals? Short-terms are easy. Short-term goals are easy. The immediate things you have to do, study and all that. But in the long run, what is it going to be? A lot of us don't have a long-term plan. When I did, it just changed. I wanted to be a drug and alcohol counselor. So I went to USD to study all about alcohol. I took a test going in. I aced it. I knew everything about alcohol. From the streets, right? You know, from all over, I knew alcohol. Going out, I aced it again. This time, I put the knowledge of how to get rid of using alcohol. So I'm an alcoholic, but I didn't drink for 29 years. I'm straight up dry for 29 years. And I don't get lonesome for it. I even collected all the drinking songs that I knew. I put it on one cassette. I listened to them, but I said to myself, I'm listening to these because I like the melody and how they phrased their words and songs. So when I drive, I'll just listen to them because they sound good, not because it's going to remind me of somebody and I have to go over there and start that whirl again. That's really weakness right there. When somebody could control your mind just because of a song, See? So I learned how to teach me. Once again, because I didn't have a father. I learned how to teach me. Because if you teach yourself, get your diploma, you can say, this is mine. Mitra. Nobody can take it away. I built it. Le mitra. Oh, I'd like to see what somebody be able to show their diploma. It's a good feeling. To say something is yours, nobody can take it away. It's, the main objective of education is building things nobody can take it away. That'll probably be my best message for today for you, from my standpoint, is what did I say that I really wanted them to know would be, do things that you're going to say is yours and nobody can't take it away. I do that all the time. Each time I go to a naming ceremony and be with the youth, doing something with them. And if it's really, really meaningful, and it has cultural value and it's historical, that's one more notch for me moving forward. I own it now. I know this person thoroughly now. I even gave him a name. I get to be with him, and he follows me, and I don't know why. I try to be the worst outlaw in the world, and there he is again, keeping me clean, keeping me accountable. Can't do nothing wrong. This guy is watching me, and he's pure. I have to be like him. And he's younger than me. Oh, such wonderful people, I say. Because it helps me keep sober. I told you I'm alcoholic. And you can't get rid of it. Because another thing will come up that's addictive too. That's why I build things so that I could be addicted to recording. I could be addicted to positive things. Because my personality is that way. Once I get onto something, it looks like I can't stop it. So I love to drive. I love to come over to Pine Ridge. I'm here. It was a good ride. So I became a storyteller. Yes, this weekend I'll be at the Fort Randall Casino Conference Hall for a memorial. I get to sing with Iron Wing singers. I always do that because I could hear myself. People would drown me out. See if I'm in tune. Here, a little tiny boy was watching. He had a drum in his. I gave him a drumstick. He was sitting by me, like. Next time I saw him, he was sitting like this. I wasn't even holding my ear. I didn't say nothing. That's his way. Style. They're fun. It's a wonderful world to, once you get rolling, it's such a fun world. Things get in the way. And I try to remember them, use them in the right way. Don't discount everything that you experience. Don't discount it because they'll help you. That's the negative one. You could say, how could I help? How could I help the guy? So here's what I'm saying. If I'm going to criticize somebody, if I am going to criticize somebody, I had better been able to help. If I criticize somebody, I better be able to go help them. Yeah. I have a friend named Jaime Aroba. He's from Colombia. I know he wanted to say, I wonder why those those men and women sit at white clay on those sidewalk, those levels in front of the stores. I know he wants to say, I wonder why they're sitting there. Instead, what he does is he gets a couple loaves of bread, some bologna and cheese, potato chips, some pop, and he goes over there and sits with them. Instead of, if you're going to criticize him, you better be able to help. He must have wanted to criticize them, so he replaced it with help. A senator in Southern Nebraska asked me, he said, Mr. Kilsmo, what would you do about that white clay situation? This is a senator. My opportunity. I said, I would build the biggest treatment center in the whole United States right there, just to make a statement that all people who are having problems could go there and get help. And I said also, I would really be happy to help. I would really be able to be there to help if that happened. I studied alcohol and drug abuse studies. That's what I wanted to be. And so after I started to write stories about my homeland, my people, all the stories I heard from grandmas and grandpas, when I was taking creative writing, it was my opportunity to write those. How I experienced the 49 blizzard of my grandpa splashing water and grandma kneeling. I was writing all those stories about, here's how I survived the 49 blizzard. I wrote that story out of A. When I was getting a lot of good grades for telling stories, writing, creative writing, and I was still an undergrad, I said, change your major to English. And I kept going to school for alcohol and drug abuse. A second person said, change your major to English, you'll do well. And then when the third one asked me to change as a grammar teacher, Mrs. Johnson, she said, Sean, why don't you change your major to English? Your grammar is nice, you write good stories. And so I thought about it, and the next day I went to Arts and Sciences, and Sauna declared English as my major and changed. So I got a minor in alcohol and drug abuse studies and a major in undergrad of English and also linguistics. So I could teach Lakota in an English-speaking approach. I could describe our language easier that way. And so I thoroughly translate Lakota into English. I spoke Lakota first. So when I learned English, I said, this shouldn't be lost. It's okay. It's just it's designed such that it's designed for computers. All your personal pronouns come out same place. On a verb, there are exceptions, but it's predictable. If it's predictable, then you could make a flow chart and inform your icons to put your personal pronouns there. If it's first person singular, boom, hit that icon, it'll drop in there. If it's second person singular, hit that icon, boom, all your verbs will change to you. Third person singular, he, she, or it, change again. I was telling that in one of my classes about how the Lakota language is so designed for the English computerized systems now. One of my students listened, and he started to study about computers. He started to work for Wave Instructional Materials out of Omaha. He's a top-notch computer specialist. Last week, he quit his high-paying job. I mean, like thousands of dollar job. He quit it and started his own company to develop Lakota language. You're going to hear about it because we're putting in some grants to develop Lakota language for computers so students could easier get back to our language. Because a lot of us are in the 21st century way of learning now. What we're going to catch up to them is our idea. And if we surpass them, then they're going to have to chase us around. Because we're going to make the changes. Right in with the changing of the computers. We're going to be right in it. His name is Biagio Aroba. He's from Colombia. He's from Rosebud. His dad is from Colombia. His mom is from Rosebud. She's a Burnett. And so he listened. He listened. And now he started his own business. And he's from Colombia, and he studied on his own to learn the Lakota language. Emails me, how do you say this? I'll send it back. And now other people are starting to do that because our grant writers have to get familiar with the terminologies to write the grant at all. I went to the University of South Dakota last week and got as many journals as I could of how to do the language preservation, language revitalization. People are doing it. Many of them are in Alaska, Canada, all over South America. There's a lot of people now interested in learning their own home languages. And I thought that was a good thing to do, but I didn't know that. I just go ahead and teach it. I didn't know everybody was writing these journals. Because they asked me, Mr. Kilsmore, did you ever enter any of your ideas to a journal? I said, it never occurred to me. I never write. I just tell stories. And I just answer questions. I answer emails. I translate for Ken Burns. The whole series of the state national parks. I changed all of those stories into Lakota. I changed the census applications of the United States into Lakota in case there were some people who would prefer to read it in Lakota. That's just two. There's many other things I did professionally. What was my main message to you?
You think that is yours? You think that
It's yours.
Yeah.
Mitchawa. Say it. Le Mitchawa. This is mine. Le Mitchawa. Say it again. Le Mitchawa. This is mine, and nobody can take it away. Thank you very much for listening.
The bell's going to be ringing in just a couple of minutes. So.
Do you guys have any questions or minutes?
Yeah, we go until 14.
Are you gonna be here all day? Or?
Yep. You'll be here all day long.
Are we lucky?
And this is a good time to tell stories too, because I have a captive audience.
Wow.
Captures you guys.
Wow. Jerome, would you talk to us just in Lakota? You can say anything you want to us, but just so we get
That's
to
okay,
hear
I should go off the hunting now. Le amfetu ki han. Lila amfetu was. Tagan han amfetu ki han keala was dead. In other words, today is a good day. Yesterday, only half of the day was a good day. But I was here yesterday. And I said, where's everybody else? Such a good day, because in the afternoon it's dry.
Yeah.
Meadowlarks are chirping. So where's all the students? I'll tell you something. At USD, wabalawa, huh? Dokel makajunish, dokel wahihash, hechena ampelkit yovila wahuya. At the University of South Dakota, no matter if it was raining or if it was a blizzard, every day we went to school. At the University of South Dakota. I was there for 21 years, and they canceled classes only once out of 21 years. No snow day. Well, we're all on campus too, so dorms right there.
We always say if there's a snowflake,
Yeah,
school.
no school.
What was college like for you?
I liked it. I knew how to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went back to college when I was 42 years old. And so I really knew what to appreciate, because by then I was trying to be well, get well, and gain things before these little brain cells gave out. Best computer in the world right here. And so when I was in line to register for college, that little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl looked at me and says, "Are you traditional or non-traditional?" "I'm from the reservation, traditional." "I'm traditional." "So you're non-traditional." "So I'm traditional." I told that. "So I'm gonna put you down as non-traditional." "How old are you?" I said, 42. "That makes you traditional." Oh, she said, yeah. She says, "That makes you non-traditional." So I said, "That makes me more traditional." I didn't know that when you graduate from high school, you go straight into college. That's traditional. I didn't know that. I had to learn English all over again, and learn new ways. But yeah, I was going to school with young people, really sharp. That reminds me. Study your algebra, because it's required at USD when you first go in. Two of them back-to-back algebra. Remember that. When I went there in the summer, so I was working summer, getting ready to go fall of college. Well, I had a job, but in the summer, before college started, I took a course called Bonehead algebra. That's a common word. It's 021. And it's to prepare you for the real algebra when the school started. So I was practicing, getting ready already. I love to practice. And I think that's my life, raising myself as to always be prepared. Yesterday I told some people over there, I said, means always be prepared, but it really comes out. Be such that you are like a woman. And why do we say that? It's because the women prepare the food, even get our bows and arrows ready, and make our buckskin leggings and get everything ready. So get prepared like your mom, get prepared like your grandma does, getting you ready. Do the same thing. It's and that's, I think, a intimate word in respect for we always say we respect our women in our matriarchal society. I think that's one word to remember that would give a lot of weight to that notion. That we say they're the caretakers of our homes. So if they are, we should be like them and take care of ourselves too, along with how they prepare things. And so I learned a lot of things that, of the duties of a woman. So my wife, sometimes I advise her, she won't let me in the kitchen. But she would come and say, "What do you think of this? I want to add this to it. Would you like barley in that? Or would you like your your spinach with eggs, or do you want cheese? And so she's teaching me how to make my decisions. And if I am served and I see how it tastes, I said, this is really good. Remember this one, I would say. And so it's teaching me her skills and how to make decisions for me along with her. And I think that's the philosophy of the preparers, that we should be able to meet them halfway, because they're serving us anyway. And she likes to eat good, so she's serving herself too. She likes good stuff. So we experiment with food all the time. She cooks Vietnamese and Chinese and Mexican. Every day is something different. It's a good life. And we do of course we do all the common things too, like meatloaf. Thank you.